global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happiness Today. This issue of 2023 is beginning to make fragile nerves to begin to rise. Tensions are rising, and the name calling seems to now be the order of the day. But while at it, a whole lot of Nigerians believe that it's the time of the South to also become president, having observed zoning in the time past. Everyone there believes that, though not constitutionally written, but there seems to be understanding on that. Hence, it has been back and forth over the matter. Well, in the issue, in the bid of trying to get some sort of leverage, southern leaders and the likes are trying to get some sort of leverage. It looks like ACF have decided now to call out southerners over their statement and the fact that, look, you guys will go hungry if you try this. Well, let's find out in the moment what they said and why everyone should allow peace to reign. Before going to the news proper, I'd like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. What the Arewa Consultative Forum ACF has warned politicians and interest groups from southern part of Nigeria to desist from issuing threats and ultimatum should the region fail to concede the 2023 presidency to the region. Motalai Aliyu, Secretary General of ACF, that's Arewa Consultative Forum, in a statement made available in Kaduna, insisted that not producing the next president of the country should not unsettle the South. He explained, and I quote, "Gone are the days when Northerners felt blackmailed and intimidated by threat of restructuring, secession, breakup, or breakdown of Nigeria." The Secretary General noted that the North does not seek to dominate any part of the country, stressing that it would not submit itself to be relegated to serfdom. ACF explained that those issuing ultimatums were to be pitied, knowing that they knew not what they were doing. The statement added that they owned no patent nor monopoly of the art or science of ultimatums. The statement, titled "Enough of the Blackmail," stated that the Southerners do not contest the fact that North has 78% of the landmass of Nigeria, but refuse to accept that North has over 55% of the population of Nigeria. It added that the voting population in the northwest region of the North alone is bigger than the South, than those of the Southeast and South-South combined, stressing the South would never acknowledge that fact, that all the beef, all the tomatoes, all the onions, all the beans, and so on and so forth, consumed in the South are produced in the North. They contest every fact, every principle, including those that form the basis of our union, such as our federation, our system of administration, our democracy, among others, the statement explained. ACF pointed out that as the country inched towards the 2023 elections, it came as no surprise that some southern politicians were giving their northern counterparts an ultimatum. The statement noted that Nigerians' fourth democratic republic is about 22 years old, of which the North ruled for only 10 years. It observed that in spite of this, some southern politicians were furious, issuing their warnings against the election of any northerner as president. It said that it had to be stated clearly, and for the avoidance of any doubt, that the North was not and had never been opposed to the election of any Nigerian from any part of the country as president. It warned that anything that will be done to achieve that must be according to the law and the democratic principles. By the statement Arewa Consultative Forum has made. It is a welcome development, meaning that not with this population, if assume it is true, as I feel it could be true because they have quite a long land mass. But let's assume, because if you're calculating that too, there are a lot of people who have migrated from here to there and all that. You have to put that into consideration. But let's assume that the facts given are correct. With that fact, they can decide to rule Nigeria for donkey years. If they go by democracy, that's okay. Let the largest power rule or largest population rule. Then you can now understand why the northerners were giving birth to Amajiris everywhere, so that days like this they will have massive population numbers for voting. Now, if that is true, that means it's only normal for Southern Africa for restructuring, because forever till Nigeria finally finishes, the North will constantly rule if they go by that principle. But now let's look at it on the other part. What if that this population they're talking about is a unique one? Let's assume the time they're calling for population census, all Northerners living in any part of the country will run back home to be counted and to be identified. So in the time of elections, most often than not, they're always seen going back in droves in their numbers to also cast their vote, which is quite unique. Which means that the population usually that the south feeds as a south feeding and on populations of the north that migrated to the north to the southern part. In the time of election, doesn't count for the south. But if it was not election period, you see them cobblers or the shoemakers or the sugarcane sellers or the mesuya guys, you name them. They're living comfortably in the south. But when it's time for election, they just quickly run home to be counted. When it's time for census, they also run home to be counted. If the south can do the same when it's time for elections, everybody run back home. Let's really see the true picture of the number of persons living in several regions. But if it continues like this, it's just a matter of time that other southern people would definitely have to call for restructuring, or else it's going to be a slave master relationship as time goes on, knowing fully well that the southern part may feel helpless over the population explosion, assuming it is true what they experience. But let's feel the pulse of Nigerians that are talking about this in earnest. This one here saying, I'm Algeria, who they supply food? I don't get food free in the market. Or who says you get free? Let's be truthful to ourselves. These guys supply food. Let's stop this thing. When it comes to beans, it comes to potato, when it comes to cabbage, when it comes to onions, when it comes to tomatoes, when it comes to you name it, carrots, guys, they are the one bringing to the market. I'm not saying other regions don't have the capacity to produce these things. They do. But in large quantity, give it to the north. They got the landmass. Let's call it spade a spade. Except, of course, if you're saying restructuring, then, okay, we can now see how we can, look at where we have advantage, economic advantage, and, hamper on it. This one here is saying, people buy from you, not that they dash your food out. Okay, not that you dash your food out. So if you stop supplying, then the people with the money will start farming or import food abroad. Simple. Mind you, palm oil, cocoyam, plantain, baskets, cola, and some other things come from the south too. And that's actually the gospel of the very bitter truth. If you refuse to sell, it's business, it's not dash. They tried it one time to boycott, they had to enroute their food to Cotonou. Their onions spoiled. They started doing onion juice. Onions got bad, tomato got bad. They are the one, it's still the same them that brought it back to the south. Come on, we need each other. That's in a nutshell. Let's go to wrap it up. Let's meet in the comment section.